Hello everyone, my name's Illyr2 and welcome to Imperator Rome. Yes, so it has finally come, or at least it has finally come for certain YouTubers, because Paradox has provided me with a free copy of Imperator Rome to review and play and discover. Now, I've already put about 20 hours into this game since getting it about a week ago. And while I can't give you any formal reviews, I can tell you that it is different. Familiar, but different. So as you can see in this starting menu, first of all, I just want to point out how there's actually a globe on the map this time. That's different. Feels kind of weird. But yeah, and you'll also notice there is no starting date, at least for now. I'm not sure if they're going to put in start dates. But yeah, for right now, all we have is 304 BCE, or in this case, 450 ab urbe condita, or the establishment of Rome, basically. So 450 years after Rome became a thing. So at this time period, there are the successor kingdoms from Alexander's empire, the Seleucids, Egypt, Phrygia, and Macedon, and plenty of other smaller states. Rome, of course. Carthage. Still kind of small, but they are a big threat to the people of the Western Mediterranean. And of course you have Maurya, which is basically the massive Indian empire that, frankly, I've never really seen them fall apart. It's very rare to see them fall apart. Stability in this game is a little bit different. But so who will we be playing as? Well, if you've seen the title, you already know we're going to be playing as the Iberians, or Greater Iberia. Now, where exactly we're going to be starting? Well, you can't see it right now, but Iberia is basically split up into a couple different groups of people. There's the Iberians, which are sort of like the Catalonians. There's the Celto-Iberians, which are sort of, well, Celtic peoples, duh. And then there's the pre-Indo-European peoples. Now, that's going to be the Basque and the Aquitanians, whatever. Basically, in this region. Now, we will be playing as the Celtic Iberians, simply because, I don't know, there's more Celts up here, they'll like me more, and I've already done the test game as them. So, we'll be playing as Bletonesia. Now, I've chosen them because they're kind of a central location, and they can form a kingdom just by conquering these three others. And again, I did a test game as them, conquered all of Iberia. It's pretty fun. Now, let's talk about the differences in this game than normal. So we have 4 different basically character traits. So this is kind of a weird mix between EU4 and CK2. So the game plays and looks a lot more like EU4, but there are plenty of CK2 aspects, and even a little bit of Hoi 4, CK2, Victoria 2, and Stellaris aspects as well. You have the populations over here. So you have slaves, tribesmen, freemen, and citizens. You have numbers of cities. Cities are basically provinces. As you can tell, each one of these little tiny pieces of land are their own cities. And the total number of pops. So you have martial, finesse, charisma, and zeal. Every one of these 4 powers, basically mana points essentially, they act a lot like monarch points in EU4. They all serve their own special functions. And yeah, so each different type of population gives you something else as well. We'll just go ahead and start. We'll be normal, not Iron Man, not mixed gender. But although, and look at that. Look how quickly that starts. Immediate. There's no loading time in between the menu and starting. That's fantastic. So like I said before, looks a lot like EU4, frankly. You have money, manpower, military power, civic power, oratory, and religious power, and stability, aggressive expansion, and tyranny. So what does all this mean? Well, military power, really all you're going to be using it for is getting military traditions, which are sort of like ideas that improve your military. Right now I need 808 to get certain powers. So like more offense, more morale for certain types of people, more manpower all the way down. Now, each culture group basically has its own ideas. You'll have the barbarians, which is what I have. Romans have the Italics. You have the Hellenic, which the Egyptians, Phrygians, Seleucids also have. I'm sure India also has it, and you know, all those other groups of people. Civic power is pretty much only used for technology inventions. Now, these inventions are sort of like inventions in Victoria 2, which is where the Victoria 2 aspects come in. Each of them gives you little tiny bonuses. You need to spend points to get them, obviously, and you can only get them after researching technology. So right now I have 000, as do pretty much all barbarians and most people. I'm pretty sure, yeah, everyone starts at 0000. So we all start off with the same sort of ideas. Now, Oratory is probably the most important. This is kind of admin points in EU4. Pretty much admin points in EU4. They are the most important, and you will be using a lot of them. Oh, dear God. So, Oratory, basically, you see the culture over here. So, everyone within the same color is in the same culture group. But, of course, you have the specific people. We are Vettonian over here. The Austrians, Galicians. So, these are the Celt-Iberians and the Iberians and the pre-Indo-Europeans. And then plenty of Gaelics over here. Gaelic is massive. So you can spend oratory points on culture conversion, and culture conversion in this game is immediate. See, 20 points, but only for one population. Now, that's not too bad right now, since we only have 38, but by the time you conquer all of Iberia, oh, sweet God, there's going to be a lot of people. There's going to be thousands. I think I ended the game with 11,000 population. Yeah. And, yeah, so oratory points, they're also used, these are the CK2 aspects, for bribing people, and also diplomacy, relations, and also fabricating claims. Oratory points are going to be the points which you will have the least amount of, trust me. And finally, religious power. Now, religious power is interesting. So, obviously, you're going to be using it for conversion. 20 each. It will get decreased with certain ideas, by the way. But you also have Omens. Now, Omens in this game, they're all the exact same Omens for everyone else. It's sort of like in EU4 where if you had a polytheistic religion like Hinduism, you'd get certain bonuses for the certain god you worship. So in this case, you have discipline, aggressive expansion, decrease, manpower, commerce, which is kind of like production in EU4. Research points, national unrest, national tax, and national population growth. So, yeah, you get to choose each one of these. I need 2 more to get the blessing. And, yeah, so right now we're getting a ton of money off of taxes, no money off of commerce, because we have no civilians, and we have no trade. Oh, dear God, I have to keep going over what this stuff is. So, let's focus on this stuff up here. We have bad research ratio. Basically, I am making 0 research. Why? Because I have no civilians. So if we click on here, we have the 4 levels of people. Slaves make just base tax. Tribespeople make base tax and a little bit of manpower, Freemen make just manpower, and civilians make research points and commerce. Now, you can upgrade a slave and a tribesman up to a freeman, and a freeman up to a citizen. Although you cannot bring them back down. You can't demote a population, which is kind of odd, but I guess it makes sense. You'll have population growth. Like right now, we're gaining very few people. Only 0.42% is gained. That's a Stellaris thing. Just like an, Stellaris when you're growing pops. So right now, we're getting base tax only from tribesmen and just a little bit of manpower from the freemen. It's kind of odd. Freemen are, bad? I mean, freemen are going to have the most happiness, and with happiness, you have revolts, stuff like that. So freemen are probably going to be the happiest out of all the groups, but they give you the least amount. They only give you manpower. While tribesmen, give you, obviously, manpower and taxes. Slaves, which you can only get from conquest, just give you taxes. And citizens, which we have none of right now, which is why we're not making any research points. So, we're probably going to want some of that, aren't we? So now, yeah, that's why we're not getting any research. We're, yeah, getting 0% every month. We need more, obviously. Because each technology gives you direct bonuses. Gives you, for instance, Marshall tells you morale of armies, morale of navies. but more maintenance costs for armies and navies as well. But military traditions get decreased by 25%. That's very good. Civics gives you more commerce and a decreased wage for characters. Wages, basically important people, you need to pay them to do stuff. Like these researchers and governors and generals and admirals and stuff like that. Oratory advances gives you more civilization level, which, oh god, I have to talk about civilization. Religious advances just give you more omen power, but like I've said, omens are very powerful and very important. You should pretty much always have an omen on at all times. Another thing you could use for religious power is to increase stability right here. Sacrifice to the gods. It costs quite a bit of power, but stability is always worth it. Alright, so let's talk real quick about civilization. So right now our civilization level's only at 15. That's bad. That's really, really bad. Why is that bad? Well, if we zoom into our province here, we can see that our civilization value is only at 10. Now, it will grow to 15 because of our national civilization is 15, but it'll stop there. Now, the more civilization you have, the better population growth, supply limit, barbarian growth decreased, and citizens and freemen are happier, but tribesmen are more unhappy. So, yeah, it's kind of a give or take. That's why eventually you're going to run out of tribesmen, or you're going to want to, get rid of tribesmen, because they're just going to get angry and angry the more you progress. Now, a good way to increase our civilization level is to embrace democracy or autocracy. Now, autocracy is a monarchy, and democracy is, well, democracy. And we can also ban a sedentary lifestyle to become a migratory tribe, but that's stupid. Don't do that. And here we go. Here's what we're going to do for this game. All that green land, all over here, all these little green splotches, we need to conquer that to form Greater Iberia. But first, we need to unite the Betones. Betones are Bletonicia, Caluria, Corencia, and Calontincia. Yeah, weird names. But to unite them, we get huge bonuses. For one, we become a federated tribe, which increases our civilization by 15%, already good, and increases, I believe that's tribesman output and civilian output? No, decreases wages, I think. I don't know. I wish it would actually tell you, but whatever. And any subject provinces required to form Vetonia will be annexed. I get 4 tribesmen and an emergent center of civilization, increasing pop growth, fort defense, and civilization value. That doubles when I form Iberia, Greater Iberia, I should say. Yeah, so all that is fine and dandy. What else? Okay, so you can see the national. Let's click on all these. So national overview. Over here, we just see what our culture and religion is, and our population distribution, mostly tribesmen right now. We have this military idea and oratory ideas. We click on this, and basically we have a long list. Now, we can click on any one of these, but because we have one military, one oratory, we actually get a bonus. You see, bonus inactive. We get more civilization level and 1 power per month if we do this correctly. So 1 military, 1 oratory. So military, we can only get morale of armies, trireme cost, or reinforced speed and army morale recovery. Obviously, the best is going to be morale of armies, so let's go ahead and get that. Oratory ideas. Let's see. Monthly corruption decrease, general loyalty, or opinion. An increase of maximum opinion. So you can only increase opinion up to 50% in the beginning of the game. So this means we basically bring it up to 67, I think. I don't know. I'm not good at math. But yeah. So we'll go ahead and adopt probably this general loyalty. This will be important later. I'll explain why. So now we are getting 10% more civilization and 1 bonus and everything. That's good. So we are a tribe, which means we have chiefs. Now, each chief has their own army, their own retinue, sort of. If you click on the government tab, we can see this. So I'm a chief, and we have 2 others. So this one has 6 cohorts, which is 1,000 men. Not actually, it's actually more like 480 men, but in this game it's 1,000 men. And this one has 4 loyal cohorts. Now, we aren't actually paying for these cohorts, which is great. Although, what this means is we can't unite these two armies. They're basically disunited permanently. It's kind of bad. And then what else is bad is if one of these guys loses their loyalty, basically relations, they stop listening to us. We cannot order them around. We cannot move them. We cannot get rid of them. We also can't change who's in charge of their armies. So if we go over here, yep, can't change the leader because they are all loyal to them. Loyalty is a very important aspect in this game when it comes to armies, at least. Okay, so let's move on to military. Obviously, I already explained this, and military stats. Each different type of soldier is, again, a CK2 thing where there are actual different types of cohorts. It's not just infantry, artillery, and cavalry, although it is that general idea. All right. Technology, again, we already went through this. Tech tree, it all just slowly increases, kind of like Stellaris. And all of these are randomized, again, like Stellaris. Religion, kind of self-explanatory. Economy, this is just like an EU4, except there are no sliders now, yes. Instead, you have the decreased, default, and increased pay for certain aspects. Same thing with taxes, commerce, and tributes. You can tax your people more, but that'll decrease the research points, which actually doesn't matter for us right now because we don't have any research points. We can increase army maintenance, which gives them more morale, but obviously maintains them more. Same thing for fleets. And we can decrease them, which basically brings it down to no morale. Fort maintenance, same things. And wages. So, like I said, all the important people in our country, the researchers, the generals, admirals, and government officials, all get a certain amount of money for their duty. I can increase the wages, which will decrease my balance a little bit, but that'll increase their loyalty, or I can decrease their wages, which will piss them off, but save me more money. And also, you can see this convert currency thing. If you just, for some reason, have a ton of money, you can actually get power from buying it. Now, at first, I thought this was going to be overpowered. It's not. Trust me. It scales with the amount of money you make, so it's not that overpowered. Diplomacy. Kind of self-explanatory. It's diplomacy just like everywhere else. You can talk to people. You can do alliances. You can do access, influence, covert actions, relationships. And oh god, I forgot. So, in this game, you have certain levels of government. So, let's see here. If I can find a city-state. No, not this one. This one. Great. So, this guy over here is a one-province minor. He is a city-state. Now, what does that mean? Well, you can see down there on the bottom of the description, the rank of a country is determined by how many cities this country has. So, a migrant horde has no cities. A city-state has 1. Local power has 2 to 24. Regional power, 25 to 99. Major power, 100 to 499. And great power has 500 cities. So, what happens with each of those levels is you can only ally people who are on the same levels as you. And you can only have a defensive alliance, so defensive league, with people of the same level as you. So right now, I am a regional, local power. Yeah, I'm a local power. So all these other guys around me, pretty much everyone else, you can see, is a local power. Their flag changes. Now, if you see Carthage, see, they're a major power. Power. You see, Oratory over here is a regional power. They're actually one step ahead of Rome, which I find kind of funny. Yeah. And then, so yeah, you have the major powers, and then you have the great power, which actually they are not a great power yet. But a great power is the final level. You constantly get more and more bonuses, but you also, of course, can't ally anyone when you're a huge power because no one else is a huge power and everyone else is going to think of you as a rival. It's great. So when I eventually do upgrade to a regional power, I'm going to lose all my alliances, and instead you are only able to guarantee them and make them into vassals. And also vassalizing people is kind of hard as well. Okay, so finally, let's go to decisions. Decisions, self-explanatory. Trade overview. Oh god, trade. So in this game, every single area has certain resources, kind of like an EU4. So we have, in our land, we have furs, wine, horses, grain, and hemp. So we're growing weed. Awesome. Other areas... God, can I... There you go. Other areas have olives, base metals, stone, precious metals. Very important strategic stuff like horses, elephants. Elephants are so powerful. Of course, I'm pretty sure Carthage actually starts off with elephants. Of course they do. They're Carthage. And you can trade with people. So I'm not going to allow trading surplus. Surpluses, again, are just like in EU4. You have enough of a resources of a certain type, you're going to get a bonus. A small bonus, like 5% extra trade income or whatever. Or morale of armies or stuff like that. So you want to have, obviously, a monopoly. You're not going to be able to conquer the world in this game. Trust me, this game only lasts 270 years up until the Augustus basically rises up. That's pretty much when the game ends. And you can't continue from there. It's kind of annoying, but whatever. So, what else? Mercenaries. Yes, mercenaries. Again, kind of self-explanatory. They work a lot like CK2, where they're actual mercenary bands. You can't just build them like normal soldiers. And they are located in certain areas. So, when you rise them up, they'll pop up in that area, and you have to move them yourself. They're not like CK2, where they just show up in your capital. That's kind of annoying, but whatever. Alright, finally, let's talk about the cohort system and how they all work. So, you can recruit soldiers depending on what you have. So, for instance, I have cavalry. I have horses. If I see... Yeah, right there. I have horses, which means I can build heavy cavalry and light cavalry. I can also build chariots with cavalry and... what else? Okay, so I just build light infantry and archers. Everyone can build light infantry and archers. You just kind of need wood for that, right? But if you had stuff like iron, you'd be able to build heavy infantry. If you had steppe horses, you'd have horse archers. And of course, if you have elephants, you have war elephants. Now, each and every single one of these cohorts has bonuses and debuffs depending on what they're fighting. For instance, light infantry are the shittiest of them all, but they have low attrition weight and morale damage taken decreased tremendously. So basically, these guys are going to be the cheap soldiers that are just cannon fodder. If you have a lot of manpower, you're going to want a lot of light infantry. Archers are the next level up. They're good against light infantry and okay against everything else. Bad against cavalry, that makes sense. Camels, you need camels for those. They're good against chariots, light infantry, and archers. Chariots is what actually a lot of Iberians have. I've noticed a lot of them like building them here. They're good against light cavalry and light infantry. Heavy cavalry, really expensive, but as you can tell, they do amazing against everyone but heavy infantry and, of course, war elephants. Heavy infantry, which we can't build because we don't have iron. They're good against light stuff. And, of course, heavy cavalry. Yeah, they do more damage there. Horse archers, we can't build. We don't have steppe horses, but they're really fast. They're the fastest out of everyone else. Yeah, fastest moving. They're really good against archers, chariots, heavy infantry, and light infantry, but bad against anything that's super heavy, like heavy cavalry and war elephants. And war elephants, which are amazing against everyone, except you can tell 200% attrition weight. If you want to pull a Hannibal and try and cross the Alps with a bunch of war elephants, they're all going to die before you reach Rome. So you need to make sure that wherever you're moving war elephants, they got to have enough supply. Now, attrition weight basically means they take up a certain amount of supplies. So if we click on land here, I have 12.4 supply limits. Now, normally in the game, that means I can support 12.4 units. Not in this game, because attrition weight is what is very important here. So, if I go back here. Yeah, attrition weight for archers, negative 10%. Light infantry, again, if you just want to swarm someone, that's 50% attrition weight. So you can have, here, you can have 24,000 men, despite the fact that it has a low supply limit. Of course, the stronger they are, the more supply they're going to require. So, like, heavy cavalry, it's 100% attrition weight. So you can actually only have 6,000 heavy cavalry in this land before they start getting attrition. Heavy infantry, same thing. So the heavier they are, the more attrition they take. All right, and that seems about it. Holy shit, it's already 23 minutes. So this episode's almost already done. Let's actually play the game, huh? So, we are going to begin. Now, we've already spent a good amount of oratory power. We're not going to be able to fabricate a claim, but we are going to be able to get an alliance. We should probably get one of those. Should probably get a few of those, actually. Now, we're not going to want to ally with anyone we're going to conquer. Instead, let's ally with the people that are next to the people we're going to want to conquer. So, we can have up to 4 relations. Let's just ally 4 dudes. Boom, that easy. It's all immediate. And you do have diplomats, although it's a diplomat. It's 1 diplomat per tribe, per nation, that sort of thing. It's not an actual amount of diplomats. I don't know, maybe they should change that, but whatever. Now, we can declare war, no CB war, although that would make us lose stability and it would piss everyone off. Obviously, aggressive expansion. It's kind of important in this game. Very important in this game. It's kind of like the bad boy limit in Victoria 2. Alright, let's... Obviously, the first ones we're going to take over is Caluria over here. So let's go ahead and move our soldiers over. We're making a good amount of money. And we have a bit of manpower. So you know what? I'm going to want to build a unit over here. Let's just build... Oh, no, we're not going to want that. Let's just build a light infantry for right now. And let's finally play the game. So everyone else is building up their soldiers. Right now, as you can see, we have 10 cohorts. They have 8, 9, and 8. So not that bad at all. So we can go ahead and get some more money, or we can get some more discipline, manpower, research. I think, well, right now, we're making enough money, but maybe discipline would be better? No. Let's get into more national tax right now. Although we need as much money as possible. Let's also go ahead and get some... Oh, we should have gotten Omen power first. Damn. Tech speed doesn't matter right now because we're not getting any tech. National tax increase 5%. Sure, why not? And tribespeople output. We are mostly tribesmen, so let's go ahead and get that. Alright, so we have this war host over here. We're going to set our guy. He's actually very good at martial. These other guys suck at it. And here's a fun little thing you can do in this game. Instead of having to build armies individually and unite them, instead you could do recruit to army and just build them immediately. So we're going to build 1 chariot, I think. Alright, there you go. And they're all going to unite into one big army. So that'll be another 5,000. We have 15. They only have 8. We could, like I said, declare war immediately for a no CB war. Although, again, that would piss people off. And we don't want that. We only have 1 stability right now. And we do not have enough religious power to... Ooh, okay. We don't have enough religious power to increase stability. So right now we're getting some trade from our allies. Now, you see here, so we're not exporting horses right now, but we have enough. We can get 0.48 more a month. That's a good amount. Seriously, commerce is where you make bank. When you become a large enough country... That's weird. We have an alliance. So, yeah, I guess we'll join the league. Why not? We have too many relations, but we're already... Ah, whatever. Okay. So... Too many relations. Breaking alliance. Uh-oh, this guy's breaking an alliance. Because we probably allied with one of his rivals. That's fine. So this guy right now is in a defensive pact with quite a few people, but so am I. So it'd be interesting to see how well this works out. We don't even have a claim on him right now. We're going to have to wait a bit longer. We'll do it for Vetonia Septentrionalis. Vetonia, basically. Alright, so here's the conflict. Basically, we have two tribes. Who do I want to piss off more? I can piss off them both. Or I can piss off just one. We get more military power or more money? I'd rather have more money. That's fine. So right now, she's a bit disloyal. That's not good. Let's go ahead and bribe her. It cost a bit of